What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY review, we're going to take a look at another figure from Power of the Primes, Wave 1, after I kick the tripod. And it says Deluxe Class Dreadwind, one of these jets. First and foremost, we'll come take a look at the packaging. And you've got the little jet mode version of Dreadwind there. It says Power of the Primes, Hasbro, ages 8+. Hey, I'm right in the middle of that. You got Classe Deluxe. Deluxe Class, Classe Deluxe, Classe de Lujo, and Classe Deluxe. And these Dreadwind, he's a Decepticon. I think this might be the first Decepticon I've got. And you've got some nice box art up here. And guys, I picked these up at Target because they were on sale. I believe they had a 10% off sale that particular day, and they were already on sale. So I think I got these things for about $12.99, where they're normally in the $16 or $17 range. So definitely save some money. Also got Transformers and Generations logo up there. Come around here and you see the little combined version of Starscream, I guess. And come to the back, you've got Dreadwind. How will the Doom-bringing Decepticon air defense specialist wield the power of the Primes? Same description as always. How will blank handle the power of blank? And you've got him up here holding the football and the Prime Armor. You got Prime Armor. His is different because it comes in color. And you've got Micronus, Vector, and Liege. And transforms in 13 steps. 13 etapes. 30 pasos. And then pasos. Yay. For all of that. Now, oops, I need to come down a little bit. Oh, hey, look, he's a jet. That's a thing. Of course, in the instructions comes the packaging. I said that entirely wrong. But you do get very simple instruction form, just like everything else. But because he's a Decepticon, all the stuff is purple, not red, because Decepticon. Though I will say, the purple mode does make it a little bit difficult. Now, this actually does show him. Check this out. It shows it as combining as a leg of Volcanicus and using Jazz as an arm. That's actually interesting. I didn't actually check to see if that would work, or if that's what I showed in the Jazz review. I'll have to go look. But yeah, very simple instructions. Oh, and I totally missed this in the Jazz review. On the side here, it has him as being part of the Elita 1 combiner. So whatever the name of her thing is, that Jazz is a part of her. So actually there he is right there. You got Moonracer, and then whoever else is going to be a part of that. So we're still getting combiners even in this wave. Now, of course, you do get his card. So Dreadwind, very nice artwork right there. Got the Prime symbol floating in the background as usual. And then this pine coney looking diamond-shaped dealy, and that is Alpha Trion Dreadwind. Now, Alpha Trion is in this next wave that's coming up, so you get Alpha Trion and Optimus Prime in that wave, which is strange, but Optimus is a Prime, so it is what it is. And you've got History's most evil warriors to top them. Well, that's disturbing, but I like it. It's pink, looks kind of cool, and goes on the floor with everything else. They realistically almost always land in the same spot. Now you do get his Prime Armor, which, as I stated, is the first one to come. Why do I always drop stuff? In a color mold. So it's actually pretty good. You got it molded in purple, in this off-white, and then the clear part, for once, is actually colored. So it's actually colored to match the rest of him. Now, realistically, you can use this as a backpack thingy. And if I remember correctly, the G1 version, who I think also had a Power Master or whatever Headmaster gimmick, or even Target Master gimmick, had something very, very similar to this. Just not a combiner, power-up, stupid hand, fist, armor, foot gun. But supposedly the G1 version had something like that could plug in on the back. And it looks pretty good. You almost get thrusters back here. If I'm correct, that is almost... Well, it's not really identical to the previous ones, but you can see that at the rear, it's similar thruster-wise. Maybe that's just the fingers, but of course you get the claws and stuff on the Volcanicus one. And the Jazz one actually uses a whole separate mold entirely, so pretty cool that you get that. And if you really wanted to, you could plug it in back here. Although, for some reason, this particular hole is not, it's going to sound bad, is not super tight. So later on, that's going to become an issue. I think it has to do, I think this is fine. I think it's because that is not a perfectly round thing, you're losing enough friction because it's not completely round. So I think that is an issue, and it will be a problem especially in hand mode. Obviously in foot mode, we're not going to use this. Now he does come with his pistol rifle gun. Looks pretty good. Molded all in this nice tealish color, maybe a cyan. And you can plug that in at the top port as well if you really want to. You can fly around with a gun on his back. I think that looks best, although you can plug it in under here, though the handle is very long. You can plug it in here. And if you came with two, I think this would be a very nice setup. So throw that off to the side over there. Now, in his jet mode, he is identical to many of the jets we got. Almost all of the jets look just like this, from Combiner Wars, from the aerial bots to some of the Decepticon jets. They all wear this exact same mold, usually just changing up some of the wing mold and definitely paint. Paint is something this guy has a ton of. So you've got teal paint up here, you've got gray paint up here on the nose. Actually, I'm sorry, that's not paint. That is actually molded in a soft rubber, because you've got to keep the kids from getting hurt. You got red paint here on these little intake vents, more or less, or whatever they are. You have a ton of paint on the wing here, so you've got all of the molded, like cyan-ish teal color paint, and the silver paint and the Decepticon logo painted on. The fact that these, on a deluxe scale, got a ton of paint, but the Voyagers, such as Grimlock, or even, since we have another huge jet out of Starscream, which has horrendous stickers, this guy has paint. I get that deluxes are cheaper, but come on, Hasbro. This is a fantastic paint job. If this was done in a really terrible foil sticker, it would be not even worth the $12 I paid for it. You also get this part back here painted in a darker gray. You've got the back parts here molded in purple. You got purple down here for what is obviously going to be feet. You have visible hand syndrome. You have essentially what is a squatted down robot underneath. You do have some nice molded in missiles, so I wish they had gotten a little bit of paint there to make them stand out, but it's cool that they're there. You've got a little painted Decepticon logo and some silver there, probably tampograph realistically. Red paint there, silver paint here on the purple, painted hands that are totally visible, and I like that the purple does have metal flake in it, so it actually adds something. Now, he totally has visible head syndrome, but you turn it around and, well, you don't really notice it, quote-unquote. I don't know. Now, if you really want to, I'm going to flip that down, give him a little prop up. I wish he had some maybe landing gear or something, but I get it. Now, that is, of course, for the Prime Armor version in his robot mode, but we're not going to look at that just yet. Let's get a couple comparisons out of the way first. So next to a Titans Return Deluxe Class car, so I mean, that is what it is. Of course, he doesn't have to combine into anything, but this is clearly not a remotely close comparison. By the way, guys, these little upright fins are soft plastic as well. Here he is next to Leader Class Rodimus. So, once again, not really scaled. But hey, if you want a jet that can ride around on your Winnebago mobile launching platform, yay! See? Totally works. You know, if you're going to play, play. And here he is with Wally. Now, sadly, I don't have a whole lot of other vehicles, and I don't have any other jets to compare him to. So, there's your Wally. And I really don't want to get Starscream. It's so bad. He's so bad. But, I mean, if he goes, like, extremely on sale, maybe just to finish out the Starscream Combiner. Because in the next wave, you do get his brother, I believe it is, and that's going to be Blackwing. So, that's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take him into robot mode first. I'd probably go into combined mode first, but I want to do all the combined stuff at the end, because we're going to build a kind of false Volcanicus, like the instructions showed us. So let's take him into robot mode first, and it's pretty easy to do that. First and foremost, you want to come down here, unpeg the arms from the side, come up here, unpeg the wings. Now you see this huge tab here will go in to a slot up there. This one doesn't really want to stick on that well, I'll say that. And you want to, as Bobby Skullface says, Combiner Wars, the legs, and that's literally how it came about. That all of them do this. Now, this is a part that I have to point out because you see these big bump outs here. You have to have those flipped down. So you've got a hinge up here, you've got a hinge down here, all for the knee joint. So what you have to do is flip these down to where they're facing downward, like so. It's ratcheted. So you've got these big slots, and you've got tabs back here. Now you want to tab that in to there. Actually, go ahead and split the legs. Make our lives easy. And it will tab in. Go ahead and flip up the side fin. Take this, ratchet it, or swing it down on a double hinge. Slide that forward. I want to do the same thing on this side. Go ahead and get that arm out of the way. Flip that in. Flip this down, and that will tab into the side. And then pull this up, tab that in. And I found that the tabs for holding the legs together are not great. Plus you get some super hollow leg gap there. Super hollow leg gap. Now for the most part you've got the upper body kind of there. So with the arms slash little intakes right here, it's on a little swing joint, and you've got a tab that flips around, and we'll tab right there. Go ahead and rotate the arm. Same thing on this side, and it will tab in pretty effectively. And then pretty easy, you want to grab the entire airplane nose cone. It tabs in kind of right here, clips on. Now you've got a hinge right here, so you want to flip that up, tabs, slots like so, and then just spin your head around. And there you've got Dreadwind in what is a very, very good looking robot mode. Now, as I said before, this has got to be the most painted figure we've gotten so far. Jazz had a good amount of paint on. The Dinobots really, really don't. But this guy really does. So all the paint we saw before, now we've got new paint down here. We've got some more teal and even some silver. And then, of course, the silver on the leg vents come across there. That doesn't count. So you don't really see new paint. Actually, you get new gray paint, you notice down there on the toesies. But what you get is an enormous amount of color, especially on that head. And that head sculpt is nice. Though the faceplate is a little lacking, a little shallow in details. I like the yellow eyes inside there. Really hard to catch the light. There we go. Painted yellow eyes inside that metallic purple helmet. Looks really good. You've got white ears on there. Just looks really, really good. You got some paint slop right in there. I've noticed that a little bit more and more on these figures. You even got some down here on the wingtip. I don't even know how that happened. But you know how it goes. Mass production, assembly line. Stuff happens. Now articulation, head is on probably a minor little ball joint right there. Shoulders, just a normal rotation joint, no ball joint there. You got a swivel pin joint right through there. Rotation at the bicep, ratcheted elbows that will pop off if you attempt to go anywhere past 90 degrees. It's barely held in place, but it's a decent ratchet, decent little detent there. Painted hands, not bad. Gotta love that. I like the, pretty much my favorite is dark gray ever, so I can live with that. Nothing at the waist, because that's what happens when you have a combiner. T-mounted ball joints. You can get an okay Jean-Claude. He can go forward kick, back kick perfectly because there's no skirts, there's no butt, anything. Backpack is minor. Leg joints go just under 90 because of transformation blockage. Bam. And of course you get the incredibly hollow thighs and bottoms of the legs. And the feet are molded at an angle so that he can stand with a minor A stance, and he does look really good. So I really don't complain about the way this this figure looks. Get a little bit of a bend on the legs. You can get the nice winglets going on down there. And if you want to give him almost a seeker or a cone head look with when he's in plane mode, you can totally leave the wings down. It's kind of cool like that. Now he can hold his weapon, as he should do. like that. And then his prime armor. You can plug it in on the forearm in armor mode, and the fact that it matches the colors really means that for some reason they wanted to spend money on this guy. So you get a really nice arm shield there. This is the first time I'm not complaining about the prime armor, because honestly it looks really good and it's very effective. Even if you pull the not clear gun, the invisible gun, out. Why is it giving me problems? Here we go. Pull that out, stick it in the hand. The one thing it doesn't want to do is hold that. He's like, no, it's not a real gun. But see, for once, they made it match, and I love that. Now, the prime armor can be used as chest armor, like on some of these other ones. You just come in here and flip this down, and you've got the port right there. Now, this will not go back any further, and because it is a very thin piece of plastic, do not force it. But you will have problems getting it on. You can see right there. Clearance problems. So what you want to do is take the fingers, pull them out, tuck that inside the fingers, and then plug it onto the chest. And there he has some very nice, hefty chest armor. And because this guy doesn't have a big, like, forward section, actually giving him a little bit of a barrel chest kind of works, in my opinion, because he already has a huge backpack with the nose cone back here. So I think that that actually works, and giving him a purple torso looks really good, in my opinion. Now here he is with the previous figure we looked at, with Jazz, and all his goodness. So you can see size-wise, they're pretty much the same, because they have to be. You got your prime armors that are obviously different. Here he is with Legends Class Sea Spray. You can see how much shorter he is. Here he is with Voyager Glass Grimlock, who will be making an appearance again here in a little bit. So you can see Voyager, Deluxe. Tilt the camera up. And here he is with Leader Class Prime, who of course towers as he should. Now, one thing I don't think we've gotten so far is a Leader Class Decepticon in this line, so I'm assuming there will be probably a Megatron with a Megatronus to go in the chest, because that seems to be the thing. You get younger version combined transforms into the older version, including the Optimal Optimus that's coming later, which, you know, I'll probably have to get that too. I've never had an Optimal Optimus. So take him out of here and bring in Wally Meister. Wally, this is Dreadwind. You don't really want to be his friend. He's a bad guy. So, you know, just keep your distance from the bad guy. Alright, so let's go ahead and get him into combine mode. And I'll do arm mode first. Or, no, I'm going to do leg mode first, because I don't want to have him in leg mode. I want to have him in arm mode when we finish that up. So, realistically, we're going to go ahead and flip his head all the way back, like so. Nose cone stays where it is. And in leg mode, I believe you just want to turn the arms like so. Now you can see there's a deep little hole right under the armpit. You want to tab that in like so. Turn the fists out. That's good. Now, realistically, there's not a lot to this. So for leg mode, you're going to want to shrink the legs in, so go ahead and do that number. Now you're gonna have to do kind of the reverse of what we did earlier. This whole bit needs to be facing back like so. Just rock that whole guy in back there. Actually, maybe it's supposed to come up. There we go, like so. And then fold the leg in. Nope, that didn't work. How is that supposed to do its thing? I always forget how that's supposed to be. I always think it's supposed to be one way, and then I get proven otherwise. Okay, so it's supposed to face downward. I got it. That needs to go down into the foot. That's what's happening here. Or something. How do I always forget this? Like, let's just fold it flat. There, fine. Jeez. Okay, tab that all back together, like so. You want the wing facing forward. Do the same thing over here. That was way too much struggle, not gonna lie. Like, how people put up with this with all of the Combiner Wars versions, I don't know. Like, while the figure looks great, the transformation sometimes is incredibly annoying. Now, you want to tab the legs into each other, just like in jet mode. Leave the wings facing backwards like that. And that's pretty much it. Now, I think you could probably do a couple different ways. If you want the arms like this, you can do it this way. Or if you want it to be more like it is in vehicle mode, you can probably just leave them down at the side. Maybe rotate it like so. It's your toy. Do with it as you wish. The arms are absolutely incidental. You don't even need them there. I guess if you want to, you could even... Now, guys, once again, I don't have the instructions in front of me because I threw them on the floor. But I guess you could totally... Well, the arms won't close that way, so I guess leave them up. Leave it up, like I said, the first time. So leave that up, just rotate it nicely, like so, just so you've got this number going on. And grab your Combiner War foot. And there he is, essentially in leg mode. Now, there's also a fan mode that I do from this, like if you want to. I find this to be quite amusing. So leave the wings kind of out for support. And this is just me being fun. Plant his gun there. And plant his other thing here. And he's kind of a base tower. I kind of think that looks funny. But cool, you know. Is what it is. Little jet tower. Set that aside. Now we'll go ahead and go to arm mode, because that's what I'm going to have him as anyways, which is honestly not too different from this. So basically, do what I said a minute ago. Go ahead and get the arms set like so. And there's a really dumb thing. Like, essentially what you want is going to be a right arm. So you want this right here. So this is here. And you want the arms actually at a weird outward angle like that. I don't know why. Personally, I want to have it kind of tabbed in so it's secure. Now we want to undo the legs again. Combiner Wars them up. Close that down like so. Make sure that wing doesn't fold out. Close that in this way. And you can choose to do it one of two ways. You can go this way so you can get the extra bend, or you can do it this way and you can have a purple arm. Honestly, it's up to you. If you like the more purple oriented arm with the wings facing forward, that's on you. I think I prefer it with the big gray kind of arm. I do wish there was a better way to keep all this connected. And you could take your fist, go ahead and get it into right-handed mode like so. But as I showed off earlier, it doesn't like to stay in. Like, it is incredibly loose. Like, I mean, you shake it a little bit, it's going to be okay. But, I mean, there's almost no friction holding that in. It doesn't take hardly any effort. And this isn't a perfectly round hole either. This is a hexagonal hole. So, it is what it is. Now, we're going to go ahead and put Jazz into combine mode 2, because we're going to bring him out for thing. Now, I showed him off already going from car to combine mode, but I'm going to go ahead and take him into combine mode from robot mode, because, you know, process is slightly different. So I'm going to straighten out the arms so that they become the side panels. That's a given. Flipping the toes now, because you can't do it later. Go ahead and open up the legs. This is another thing. If you're going into car mode for Jazz, you have to do the legs first. You cannot tab it in later. Go ahead and pop up the whole hood, pop up the head, all of that stuff. Go ahead and crank down the leg. Like I said, I want Jazz to be the leg. The instructions, for some reason, want Jazz to be an arm. I kind of want my flyers to both be legs, or both the arms. And then, as we showed earlier, I'm going to rotate the head, flip the bonnet out. Now, cool, you see a couple little holes there where the pin comes through. There's tabs to help align that. And then here's the tabs going in to the side. Clear plastic going into clear plastic is incredibly unnerving. Not gonna lie. Okay, so put your combiner port straight up. Oh, go ahead and do the arms. Duh. Okay, so arms are now secured. And then we want to tab that in down here. Collapse that. Oh, hold on, the head's in the way. Collapse that down a little. Too far, actually. Jeez, what happened there? I moved the head a little bit and the whole thing scooched down. Okay, so like so. There. Actually, if the head isn't in the way, you end up getting a lot closer fit. Now, once again, it does want you to put the gun there for combine mode. I guess it's a toe. I don't know why. Go ahead and grab the other foot. And he's going to be the right side foot. And of course, we still have our Dinobots in combined mode. So we've got our swoop arm here. We've got our slag leg here. Now we got to get our Grimlock into Volcanicus mode. Boom. Now we're probably going to have to raise the camera up a little bit because Volcanicus does get tall. Get out of the way there, Primo. Primo. Alright, go ahead and do the legs first. So we'll grab our jazz leg, slap it on there. And once again, this is where I say, like, it'd be nice if there was a big confirmation click, but there isn't one. And wow, that was a big mess. That's what happens when you push down on the wrong thing all at once. Jazz is very delicate, guys. Okay. Stay. Stay. Okay. Got a jazz leg, we got a slag leg. Sounds funny. Slag leg. Stand. Why is one of the... Something is like weird. So something very strange is happening. Okay. So slag leg. Take our swoop arm. We'll go ahead and drop that down from above. Oh, the arm actually moved on us. And we'll take the Dreadwind arm. Ah! See, it took no effort for that to come unpegged. And here we have Volcanicus in a semi-official form. Yeah, that's weird. That's really, really weird. Because, I mean, let's scooch him back a little bit. He's very lanky. Like, the legs are filled out, but then they get skinny up here. You've got a very right angle deal going on with the arms. But I like the fact that I got two flyers as arms. Now, I sort of brought it up last time when we did the Volcanicus review. Let's see if I can do this again. Since we have spare hands, we can really do this. Try to build out his chestal area. Come on. Why does that not want to go? Like, it doesn't even want to line up. That's weird. Okay. Try this one. Okay. I've done this before. It doesn't want to function now. Seriously though, what? Wow. That took way more force than it did the last time I did this. But yeah, do that. Actually, let's go ahead and see. Look, that doesn't... Look, only this area of plastic is even holding that chest part up. Or that whole arm. They did not design this very well. I mean, only this little tab is holding all of that up. It's a poor design, Hasbro. Truly poor design. Okay, thumbs out. Come on, there we go. Alright, so there he is with a slightly bulked out body. He's very much leaning forward. Now I've got him leaning back. You got ratchets. The arms can go all the way around. He can bend at the knees. Yeah. Is what it is, guys. There he is in a very unofficial Volcanicus form. Scooch him back. And since we didn't have leaders to look at it compared to last time, there he is with Leader Class Prime. So big old combiner, bigger than Prime. But personally, I feel like this should have still been a Leader Class and Voyager Class combiner. So hopefully there will be knockoff company that'll take care of that. But that is what it is. So that's the end of this review of Dreadwind. And that is the final combiner part of this wave. Wave 1 of Power of the Primes. The Voyagers, I'm sorry. Or the Deluxe classes, I'm sorry. Of course, there's still Starscream out there. But once again, don't really want to get him. Now, when the other 2 Dinobots come out in my area, I'll totally get that. And we'll have a Volcanicus that is truly complete. And, of course, I want to get the Perfect Effect combiner parts for this, or technically perfect combiner parts, blah 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 blah. Oh, by the way, here's Wally. Guys, if you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up down there, and if you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe if you like what I do. This is me just wildly acting, like, yeah, subscribe. And hit the little thumbs up, or not thumbs up, the little bell if you want to get notified for every time I put out a video, which is pretty much every day anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. If you like my Transformers reviews, you're going to love my Gundam reviews. So, yay for that. And one thing, my patrons, as always, John, Andy, Steve, you guys are awesome. If you guys want to buy any SHOKY Reviews merch, down there in the description, down below, over at Teespring. I've got a few different shirts to look at. But guys, that's it, and I will catch you on the next review. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.